Hello there. My name is Alicia, aka Edmiston Creations, and I am a wife, mom, social worker, and athlete and maker living in the mountains of South Central New Mexico. And this is a space where I share a little bit about what I've been up to with what I've been making. I share a bit about working out and what I've been doing with my family, and just about anything else maybe that comes to mind. I am a social worker and a practicing therapist, so I do have some mental health tips and awareness practices woven into my vlog. So if that sounds like your cup of cozy, then this is a space for you. So today I am coming to you the week of Thanksgiving, and I wanted to share just all the things that I've been up to making wise over the last couple of weeks. I've been a busy bee with sewing, and I also have lots of knitting projects that I'm currently working on, but also a lot of knitting plans. And in episodes 3 and 4, I broke down some mindful making practices. So, with the mindful making process in mind, my disclaimer here is that I have a lot of projects and a lot of plans going on, and I bring myself back to my center and the present moment and what I'm working on currently. So this is just to share you, like as a maker, my process is I'm always looking ahead and anticipating what my roadmap of making looks like, so to speak. But and so I have things that are on the horizon. And I think it's important to have a vision of where you want to go or what you want to get to in making. But I also think it's very important to honor the slowness of knitting and sewing and crocheting. And I've, so it's this constant circular process of looking ahead and seeing my vision and coming back to where I am, and looking ahead and coming back to where I am, and mindfully planning out, what I will get to, and staying focused on where I am right now. And that is hard sometimes whenever there's so many good things out there, so many great patterns to make. So I constantly am working on accepting that I am only able to make so much. And so I prioritize what I want to make with intention. And that's how I go into making choices about what I, make now and spend time focusing on now versus what I will make in the future. So, if you're interested in knowing more about mindful making, I highly recommend you look at episodes 3 and 4. And today is going to just be a good old show and tell. And I have a pocket practice for you at the end for gratitude, because this is the week of Thanksgiving and 'tis the season. So I want to start with just giving you a little bit of an update about my family's Thanksgiving plans. So we do not travel over the holidays. We hang out and stay home, have a nice staycation together. I take off work like when my daughter is out of school, so I just kind of follow the school calendar so that way I can be home and fully present with my kids. And so this week, since like Ella has been off, I've been able to go for some short walks with my kids outside. We've watched some good old fashioned Christmas movies like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I love the claymation version. I used to watch that all the time with my brother when I was growing up. And we've watched Elf and a bunch of Hallmark movies. It's just been fantastic. And so what else have we done? We made a pumpkin loaf together yesterday, and so that's what we're having for breakfast this morning. And we've played some games, done some puzzles. So it's really been nice. And our big trip on Monday as a family was over to our local fabric shop, A Quilting Situation, to pick out Christmas flannel fabric to make, well, Mom is making Christmas PJ pants that match for the whole family. And I will share that with you when I get to the sewing section of the vlog. But that was really fun to go and do that together. So that's kind of what we've been up to. Since we do Thanksgiving together, we don't necessarily do one big, huge meal on Thanksgiving Day. We do have a really nice meal and lots of comfort food, but we kind of spread it out over the whole weekend. And so that way we're not baking all day the day before or the day of, baking or cooking. And so that way we can kind of share the love of all the good foods throughout the weekend and into the following week. We are plant-based, so our main dish is a shepherd's pie, and we use sweet potatoes and lentils in it, and my husband makes it. It turns out delicious every year. That's really been our Thanksgiving tradition. And we're gonna have biscuits and vegan gravy in the morning with some mushrooms and vegetables. The kids probably won't eat the vegetables. My son will. My daughter's quite a picky eater, so there's that. But she will have the biscuits. Mom will be making the biscuits, and Dad will be doing the gravy and the veggies. And I also, a classic New Mexican dish is to have biscuits and honey and a green chili sauce. So I will be making the green chili sauce to go with the biscuit. And I know that I remember the first time that I heard of that New Mexican dish, and I was like, I'm not so sure about that. Would that be good? I don't know, but don't knock it till you try it. I'm a firm believer that green chili makes everything better. And so Mom and Dad will be enjoying some green chili and honey on their biscuits. The kids probably will skip that. Ella will probably just have honey and maybe some like pumpkin butter. But that's okay. To each their own. That's what it's all about. So we basically really just try to have no schedule or no rules around the holidays, so we can just chill and slow down, and it's kind of like, well, what do you want to do today? And we just kind of fill the day that way. So we're here for it. So I really hope that you have a fun holiday ahead of you, and let's dive into what I am making. So let's start with knitting first. I'm gonna drink some coffee. Not that I needed to announce that, but here we are. So I'm gonna put my coffee down. So I have a couple of test knits that have wound down. I am testing the Highline Henley for Tori Knits NYC, and that is going to be finished up next week. I am done with my test knit, but I will show that whenever she releases the pattern. I'll do an episode on that knit and the item I'm gonna sew with it. So the other test knit that I'm working on is a secret test for Andrea Mowry. I can show you my colors for it. So I am using the Farmer's Daughter Fibers Bear Paw DK, and these are my colors that I'm using for Andrea's test knit. And I'm really excited with how it's turning out. It's a very fun knit, And this one is due on December 3rd. So this is currently the very last test knit that I am working on. I will not be taking on any more test knits until sometime in the new year. I will consider taking a test knit in January, but honestly, with what you see that I have like kind of on deck, so to speak, with my making plans, you might be like, Alicia, you might be taking off testing until like March. So we'll see, whatever. But yeah, so Andrea's test knit wraps up December 3rd, and the release date for that pattern has been pushed back. So I won't be able to show you that make for some time, but whenever it is time, I'm very excited to share it with you. So speaking of, let's see, what else? So just to kind of stay on the some of Andrea's patterns, I am going to be picking up my tessellated socks, and I've shown them on here before, but here they are, the little dinky things. I've been good and I haven't knit on these anymore since last week when I started them. So I will be picking up my tessellated socks and knitting on them in full force over the next few days and just see how far I get, while also being mindful that I have a priority to finish the test knit that I have committed to for Andrea. So I may or may not finish within the sock challenge window, but that's okay, because I mean, I already started, and so technically I'm not eligible to do the sock challenge. So I mean, I'm not gonna enter because I started early, and I just, yeah, I guess hashtag integrity. I just don't feel right about entering because I did get this much done before the cast on day today. So yeah, I will be working on these over the holiday break, and I'm really excited to see how far I get with those. I'm also joining the instafriendskal, which is going through the end of January 31st. So I've been back and forth about what yarn I was going to use for this project, and I'm really excited to be stash diving for this one. So I had some La Petite lamb's wool by Biches and Bouches. I don't know if you can see here. It is gray beige, an awesome neutral. I've had this in stash for a while and I've just not been sure what I wanted to make with it, and I did a very small swatch, but I did get gauge for the traveler shell on I believe the recommended needle in the pattern. So this is going to be a fun yarn substitute for this pattern. I'm really excited. I think it'll be warm, even though it's lightweight. With this is kind of it has, I'm not sure exactly how it's spun, but it has a lot of airiness in the twist of the yarn. So I imagine that's going to help trap body heat, even though it's a very, very lightweight yarn. So this is categorized as a fingering weight yarn. So in the traveler shell, she uses like Helix, which is a lace weight paired with a lace weight fluff suri, and she uses Kumo, both by La Bien-Aimée in her sample. And so I was considering trying to find a suri and a Helix that would match, but like I said, I mean, I was really excited to be able to stash dive and use what I want, or what I already had on hand. And one of my goals for 2024 is to knit from stash and knit down my stash. I started doing this pretty seriously in 2023. I started knitting more from stash and I have been much more intentional about yarn purchases this current year. And basically I want to keep that going. I find it's been a method that really works for me. So it's kind of, if it's not broke, don't fix it. It makes me feel really good to use the stuff I already have and to not, buy. So, although that's really hard whenever there's so much beautiful yarn out there. So no judgment if you have been taking advantage of Black Friday deals for yarn or for fabric, because I definitely have, but I have, again, bought intentionally, and I have specific projects for every single item that I have bought. So I'm very proud of myself for using what I have for the instafriendskal. Let's see, what else? Another thing that I am doing that I haven't really talked enough about, I feel like, so I wanted to share today, is I am hosting a knit-along, an informal knit-along for the Farmer's Daughter Fibers and Pom Pom magazine. So this has, I've been very sad to hear that Pom Pom is not going to be doing any more, they're not going to be doing any more publications after their next issue. So I think this is the next to last issue. And I love this one. Candace was a guest editor for it. All of the patterns in this book are stunning. Candace did a full-on podcast, so check out her channel for a view of every single pattern in the issue and samples of all the patterns. But I'm hosting an informal knit along for this magazine. The only rule is that you knit patterns from the magazine. That's it. You can use any yarn you want. You can do any project you want. It just has to be a pattern from this specific issue. And we're doing it through the end of the year, but I may poll the group and see about extending it. I'm thinking extending it through the end of February actually might be nice, so more people can join. So if you are interested in joining in the knit along, please feel free to email me. My contact information is in the description box below. Or you can direct message me on Instagram if you follow me on Instagram. At Edmiston Creations is my handle on Instagram. And I would be happy to add you to our knit along group. We share our progress pictures in there, chit chat about the patterns and what everybody's making. And it's been a really nice, supportive little group. So we've got a decent amount of people going on and would love to add more. So just let me know if you're interested. I am making Prairie Skies, and that is the sweater in here that, let me see if I can find it. That is this sweater in here that uses crocheting and that's a smaller picture. Hang on. Maybe I should have done this before. There's some really cool articles in here and I just love it. Okay, so here's Prairie Skies. So sorry for the glare. But so the yoke is crocheted like granny squares, and then you pick up stitches and knit around and then join in the round and finish knitting the body, and you knit your sleeves in the round. So I'm making mine out of Pishkin in email, this gorgeous like greenish teal. I mean, I don't know, it's so pretty. So this is my yoke. I feel like I just want to like throw them up in the air and let them scatter everywhere. But this is the progress that I have so far. I'm very close to halfway of the number of squares I need to make, and then you seam them together. in a certain, way to make the yoke. So I'm really excited. There's several other people that are also doing prairie skies, and some of them already have the yoke together, and it looks really, really cool. So I'm super excited to get to that project. I am going to pick that one up in December. That's going to be one of my primary projects, and I will share my other December must make with you once I get the yarn for it. And so yeah, so I'm really excited about that. And then I do want to make both of the sock patterns that are in the magazine, as well as the mitten patterns, or mitten pattern. So yeah, there's a lot of patterns I want to make. So that's the other reason why I kind of would like to extend the deadline so there's more time to make more of the things. So it's just such a great issue, and so we'd love to have you if you're interested. Last project that I'm going to share that I'm currently working on. So I've been knitting on this intermittently for the past month, just whenever I want a mindless something or other. This is the Weekender Crew by Andrea Mowry. So I test knit this in metamorphic, in a dusty blue metamorphic, and this is warm black metamorphic. I wear my Weekender Crew so much that I knew I needed another one in another neutral. And so I have just been enjoying knitting on this. I'm not rushing, just taking my time. Like I said, it's a good palette cleanser. Whenever I've been looking at patterns a lot, I just pick this one up and knit away. So yeah, and I'm really excited to be able to wear it. I'm actually knitting this one along with my good friend Jen Smith, and she is on the sleeves of hers. She's been flying, so she'll finish before me, but that's okay. And she's also making hers out of metamorphic. I believe it's the pumpkin color metamorphic that they just released in one of Spin Cycle's more recent updates. So that's all that I'm currently working on, and I would say that's enough, right? The last thing that project plans that I have that are on my kind of vision horizon is I want to join in the I Can Buy Myself Flowers knit along that is hosted by Young Folk Knits and Designs by So and So. I did finish a pressed flowers cardigan for the Rhinebeck Caravan Cow, but I want to make the pressed flowers hat and the socks. So I'm not sure which I'm going to start first, but probably the socks, because like I feel like I need to get into my sock knitting era. Like that's really over Christmas, along with Prairie Skies and my other project that I'm gonna start. Socks are gonna be like my go-to project. So these are my colors for the pressed flowers socks. I have not decided, so this is Bear Paw Sock and like Sock Squad yarn. I believe that the minis, I think this one is Bear Paw Sock, and I'm not sure about the other two, but they're all Sock Squad yarns from Farmer's Daughter Fibers. And I kind of think I may make pressed flower socks with these two. I haven't decided if I'm going to change colors and kind of, have different color flowers as I go along and just rotate them, or if I'm just going to stick with one color. If I go with one color, I kind of like these two together, to be honest, for a more, I don't know, like neutral, go with everything sock. But, throwing in the other two would also be fun. So we'll see what I end up deciding, but this is my pick for the socks. And I'm gonna use, this is the leftover gray yellow metamorphic that I used for my main color in my pressed flowers cardigan. I am going to pair this with a new dyed in the wool colorway that is being made for Black Mountain Yarn Shop. And so I am really excited to pair these two together. It's gonna look fantastic. And be sure to follow Black Mountain Yarn Shop for some sneak peeks of this new colorway. It's gonna be coming in January. So that's all the knitting stuff that I have going on. And like I said, it's enough. So since I have last updated you, I've been sewing a lot. I finished my R-Night pants in the silver fleece that from U Fibers, and I actually am wearing them now. You can see kind of, and they are so cozy. I'm either wearing these, or I finished recently sewing my cozy Chanterelle pants. So these are the Chanterelle pants in French Terry. The French Terry, organic French Terry, is also from U Fibers. I love how the pockets came out on these. I just used a mock overlock stitch or mock interlock stitch on my sewing machine to finish the edges because I don't have a serger. And that way, because the fabric is thicker, I didn't have to turn them under. But actually, I really love that unfinished, or well, it's a finished edge, but the sewn finished edge showing. It looks really cool. And the little barrel legs on the bottom are so cute. So I actually ordered some more French Terry from Blackbird Fabrics to be able to make another pair. And I want to say a big thanks to Meredith from Sew Liberated for writing up her notes and posting them on the Sew Liberated blog, because I used those to be able to sew those pants properly. I maybe could have figured out how to do it on my own, but you know, her notes were so helpful and they certainly paved the way. So I'm very grateful because I have another pair of cozy pants to wear. So now for the family PJ pants. So this has really been my big project this week. This is what I've been working on. This is the fabric that we picked out. And this is the back pant leg for my husband's pair that I'm going to sew. Hopefully today or tomorrow, but I will be done with those before we go get our Christmas tree. So we will all have our matching pants to be able to wear and decorate our Christmas tree with. I am super excited. And this flannel is so soft. It's from A Quilting Situation again, and I will put a link to their shop in the show notes. They do have an online shop if you're interested in looking at what Christmas flannels they have left. I did buy all they had left in that fabric, so sorry. But it's a cute little winterberry pattern. I really like that. I finished the kids' PJ pants already, but they are both wearing them and they have not taken them off since I finished them. So yeah, they weren't willing to part with them so I could show them to you today, but I am going to put a little photo montage together for you so you can see pictures of them and other things that I've finished making at the end of the video. So stay tuned for that. So also, while we were at A Quilting Situation, my daughter picked out this fun little gingerbread cat fabric. I just thought it was so cute. It's got like little gingerbread fish cookies. So she wants me to make her a pair of PJ pants out of these or this. And so we'll see if I have enough to be able to eke out a pair for Howie or not, but she'll get a pair of those. The last couple of sewing items I have to share with you is I'm going to make a denim orchards dress. This fabric is from Osser Santa Fe, and I'm going to wear this with my Highline Henley for release day photos. So I'm really excited to sew this up. After I finish our family PJ pants, this is what's next on deck, so I can get it finished and have it ready in time. So I'm really excited for that. And then I also have this beautiful hunter green Hudson jersey cotton tinsel. Oh my God, it's such a mouthful. Anyway, it's beautiful fabric, knit fabric from U Fibers. I got this to make a long sleeve bedrock tee in view B to go with my PJ pants. So there you go. That's going to be my Christmas PJ set. All right, that is all of the sewing and knitting things that I've been up to. Oh, actually, no, it's not. I just saw my daughter's little dress. So this is, I sewed this on Monday. This is fabric from Osser Santa Fe. This is the Valerie dress by the Freckled Pear. It's my favorite little girl dress pattern. You can do long sleeves and short sleeves and stuff, but I do like the sleeveless. She can just wear a long sleeve shirt under it, and then that way she can wear it in the winter or the summer. And it has a zippered back with a lined bodice. I used a little contrast fabric that was left over from a dress that I actually made for me. So, so it's got a little bit of mom's love on the inside. And the fabric are these little Jack Russell Terrier dogs. And I saw this fabric whenever I went up to Osser for Indian Market, and I got to see Candace there, and that's when I purchased my Farmer's Daughter Fibers magazine. And my dog, my best friend for years, my dog Trouble, she died this past summer, and so I saw this fabric and it just warmed my heart. So I knew I needed to make a dress for my daughter with it, and I actually bought enough to make a Joni top for myself. I just haven't got to it yet, but I will. I cut this out, but with grief and everything, it just took me some time to be like ready to sew it. And this week with Thanksgiving and gratitude on my heart, it just felt like the right time to sew it. And Ella loves it. She wore it all day whenever I made it for her and only took it off for bedtime. So there you go. Now I'm really finished. I told you I've been a busy bee with all the things. So the last thing that I want to leave you with is a pocket gratitude practice. And, just because 'tis the season, it's Thanksgiving, we typically are thinking about what are we thankful for. And, as a practicing clinician, I'm not big on gratitude as far as like you should do a gratitude practice every single day. I don't think that you can gratitude your way out of everything. But gratitude is absolutely a practice that is connected to feeling more joy. And I really like the gratitude practice by Brene Brown. It's called TGIF. And I will link, or I will write out the practice in the show notes in the description box below. But I really like TGIF as a gratitude practice, and I do it weekly instead of daily. So this is the practice that I recommend, and I'm going to do mine on the fly here. So here we go. So the T stands for trusting. Like, what are you trusting? And so today and for this week, I am leaning into trusting myself and learning to trust myself better. I think sometimes I can second guess myself on things, and so I'm really working on listening to my body and being able to be attuned to my truth and trusting it, going with my gut, so to speak. So that's what I'm trusting. The G stands for grateful. So what are you grateful for? And I mean, definitely, I am grateful for my family. I think that's kind of an easy one. So I'll do another. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for all of us being healthy, and you know, because your health is something that I think we can easily take for granted. So I'm grateful that we're all healthy. I'm grateful that all of our extended family members are healthy as well. And I'm grateful that we live in a very safe place. So that's what I'm grateful for. The I stands for inspired by. So I have to say, I am inspired by all of you lovely makers out there and seeing all the different projects that people are making. It just brings me so much warmth and joy every time I see people sharing their progress on a project and the colors that people use and the different yarn bases. I'm constantly inspired by that creativity. So that is what I am inspired by this week. And the F can stand for different things. So the F can be, what are you doing for fun, or what do you have faith in? So I will do both. For fun this week, I am baking with my kids. That is definitely my fun. I mean, making too, but I feel like that's an easy one. So baking is something I'm doing for fun. That is not something I regularly do on like a daily basis. So over the next several days, we're gonna all be baking something different together. So that's just been so fun. And faith. What do I have faith in? I have faith in humanity, and I have faith in just, our world leaders being able to work together and figure things out. I know that, in the landscape of the world as it's currently in, there can be a big lack of faith in our leadership. And I think that sending some loving kindness to our leadership can be helpful and much needed in stressful times. So that's one thing I have faith in. I also have faith in, when I mentioned having faith in humanity, what I mean by that is I have faith in our relationships and our connectedness. And so in a time of the world politically when we feel so divided and so different, I have faith in being able to connect to what we have that is in common versus what we have in difference. And I think, because the problem solving mind tends to focus on what's different, because it's cueing in like, oh, this is different, like comparing and contrasting. Well, this is different, so that's a problem. What's the problem here? Why is this different? And it'll swirl around differences. So just, be aware that we are wired to focus on differences, and being mindful and making that intentional shift to focus on, hey, well, what are our similarities, and what do we have in common? Because as human beings, we have much more in common than we do different. And so I have faith that people will be able to make those intentional shifts and build connections with one another to heal. And that is what I have faith in. So I hope that you enjoy this pocket gratitude practice. TGIF is one of my favorites, and I love doing it on a weekly basis. I feel like I can be a bit more reflective with the practice, having a full week to reflect on, and then thinking ahead for the full week versus a daily practice. So I hope that you enjoy, and that's all I have for you today. I really appreciate you taking the time to sit and watch my vlog and hang out and see if I'm hoping that I can get it to work to add in a little string of photos so you can see all of the finished makes and things like that that I've been working on recently. And other than that, please comment and like and subscribe to my channel. And if you wouldn't mind, sharing, if you enjoy the content, share about it so other people can find this place and join us. So I wish you a restful and stress-free, or as stress-free as possible, holiday. And until next time, happy making.